In a world increasingly captivated by the mystery of unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrial technology, a Twitter post by a man named Jerry, who claims to be a NASA engineer, has sparked controversy and debate. Jerry's tweet, made a few hours ago, stated that NASA and the United States government have long known how UFOs operate. However, he added a startling detail. The materials required to build such advanced craft are beyond our current engineering capabilities, as they must be fabricated in zero gravity under extreme temperatures. This single tweet sent ripples through the online community, raising questions about the knowledge held by governments and the scientific community regarding UFOs. Hours after the post gained hundreds of thousands of views, Jerry's social media account was suddenly made private and the tweet disappeared, fueling speculation that he may have been threatened or silenced. Jerry's tweet mentions that they have known for a long time how UFOs work, and the materials needed to build them require zero-gravity environments and extreme temperatures. For the millions of UFO enthusiasts and researchers who scour the internet for signs of disclosure, Jerry's tweet was a bombshell. It suggested that the government and NASA possess not only knowledge about UFOs, but also an understanding of how they function, an understanding that has not been shared with the public. By claiming that the materials needed to replicate these crafts can only be fabricated in zero gravity and under extreme conditions, Jerry alluded to a technological barrier that has prevented humanity from creating such vehicles, even if the knowledge exists. The implications of this statement were immense. If true, it would mean that the government and NASA have been aware of extraterrestrial technology for years and have been working to reverse engineer it. However, the challenges presented by Earth's gravity and the necessary extreme temperatures could explain why we have yet to see such technology openly used or disclosed. In the hours following Jerry's tweet, the post gained massive traction, quickly going viral within UFO communities. Users began to screenshot the tweet, fearing it might be deleted, and the hashtag disclosure began trending as people speculated about the truth behind Jerry's claim. However, their suspicions were confirmed sooner than they expected. Approximately 3 hours after the tweet was posted, Jerry's account was set to private, and the original tweet vanished from his profile. Those who had attempted to follow him after the tweet went viral found themselves unable to access his account. While some assumed this might have been a precaution taken by Jerry himself, others speculated that something more sinister was at play. Did Jerry delete the tweet voluntarily, or was he pressured to do so by an external force? The sudden disappearance of Jerry's account and tweet only heightened speculation. On social media platforms like Reddit and Twitter, users suggested that Jerry might have been threatened or forced into silence. This theory gained traction among UFO researchers who argued that the rapid sequence of events was too coincidental to be dismissed. They pointed to similar cases where whistleblowers or individuals claiming insider knowledge on sensitive subjects had suddenly gone silent or faced legal threats. Jerry's claim, if taken at face value, opens up a range of theories about what NASA and the United States government truly know about UFOs. Some proponents of the Extraterrestrial Hypothesis believe that Jerry's tweet is further evidence that the government has been in possession of UFO technology for decades, dating back to the famous Roswell incident in 1947. They suggest that reverse engineering efforts have been ongoing, but the advanced nature of the materials used in these craft has made it impossible to replicate them with current technology. The idea that materials need to be fabricated in zero gravity aligns with theories that UFOs use propulsion systems and alloys unlike anything available on Earth. According to these theories, some of the materials in question may possess properties that change under different gravitational and thermal conditions, making it impossible to replicate them in Earth's gravity. If NASA and other government agencies have access to these materials, they would need space-based facilities to recreate the conditions under which they could be produced. Facilities that may not exist or are not yet advanced enough. Another theory circulating online is that Jerry's tweet was an intentional leak designed to gauge public reaction. Some suggest that NASA or the government might be preparing for eventual disclosure, and that Jerry's tweet could have been an experiment to see how people would respond to the idea of UFO technology being real but unattainable with our current engineering capabilities. However, when the reaction proved too intense or too immediate, the tweet was quickly pulled and Jerry's account was locked down. Interestingly, the mainstream media has remained largely silent on the topic. Despite the tweet going viral within certain online communities, major news outlets have yet to report on the incident. This has led some to suggest that the media is complicit in hiding information about UFOs and government cover-ups. Others argue that without verifiable credentials or information on Jerry's identity, the story is too speculative for mainstream coverage. Meanwhile, the UFO community is divided. Many enthusiasts and researchers have embraced Jerry's tweet as a sign that disclosure is imminent or that insiders are beginning to leak critical information. They point to the rapid deletion of the tweet as evidence of a cover-up and speculate that Jerry may have been pressured into silence to prevent further dissemination of information. Others, however, remain skeptical. Some argue that without proof of Jerry's identity as a NASA engineer, there is no reason to believe his claims. In the age of misinformation and online pranks, it is easy for anyone to fabricate a backstory and post a provocative tweet to gain attention. The lack of any concrete evidence beyond the tweet itself has led some to dismiss the incident as nothing more than a hoax or publicity stunt. Jerry's tweet, whether authentic or not, highlights the ongoing desire within the public to understand the truth about UFOs and the technology behind them. The rapid dissemination of the tweet and the subsequent speculation surrounding its disappearance demonstrate the hunger for answers and the skepticism toward government transparency. The mystery surrounding Jerry's account leaves more questions than answers. If Jerry's claim is true, then the implications are vast, pointing to decades of secrecy and technological pursuit that has yet to bear fruit. On the other hand, if the tweet was a hoax, it still reflects the deep cultural fascination and belief in UFO phenomena that persists within society. In the aftermath of Jerry's mysterious tweet and its sudden deletion, the online community began drawing parallels between his experience and the stories of other whistleblowers who have come forward in recent years with information about UFOs, only to face threats and intimidation. These whistleblowers, many of whom claim to have worked for government agencies or military organizations, have detailed experiences that suggest a concerted effort to silence those who possess knowledge of extraterrestrial phenomena. As Jerry's situation unfolded, these accounts added further weight to the theory that there may be an organized effort to suppress information about UFOs, particularly when it comes to advanced technology and potential government involvement. Over the past decade, multiple whistleblowers have emerged, risking their careers and safety to disclose what they claim to know about UFOs and secret government programs. Some of the most high-profile cases have involved former military personnel, defense contractors, and even NASA employees who have hinted at or directly accused the government of concealing the truth about extraterrestrial activity. One such case involves former Pentagon official Luis Elizondo, who headed the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Elizondo resigned in 2017, citing the lack of transparency within the Department of Defense regarding UFO encounters. While Elizondo has managed to speak openly about the program and the government's knowledge of UFOs, he has hinted that others who tried to come forward faced more severe repercussions, including threats to their reputations and personal safety. According to Elizondo, some of these individuals were warned to keep silent, and their careers were subsequently derailed when they refused to comply. This aligns with the theory that whistleblowers like Jerry, who reveal too much, may be forced into silence through intimidation tactics. More recently, several military personnel have come forward with their own accounts of UFO encounters and the subsequent threats they faced when attempting to disclose their experiences. Former Air Force personnel have also come forward, claiming that they witnessed UFOs near nuclear facilities. These whistleblowers allege that they were told not to discuss what they had seen, with some even being forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. In some instances, these individuals have described encounters with unidentified men who visited them after the sightings, warning them to stay quiet. Such reports suggest that a shadowy network may exist to silence those who have direct knowledge of UFO activity, especially when it involves sensitive areas like military bases and nuclear installations. The phenomenon of threats and intimidation is not limited to military personnel. Several civilian employees, including those working for defense contractors and NASA, have shared their experiences of being warned or threatened after revealing what they know about UFOs. Some have described receiving anonymous phone calls, having their phones tapped, or being followed by unmarked vehicles after discussing their work or their encounters. One example involves a former contractor who claimed to have worked on classified aerospace projects. He reported seeing unusual crafts and technology that, to his knowledge, did not belong to any known nation on Earth. After casually mentioning these observations to colleagues, he received a visit from government officials who warned him to stay silent, emphasizing that his clearance and future employment opportunities could be at risk if he continued discussing such topics. This case mirrors the intimidation Jerry might have faced after his tweet, suggesting that this pattern extends beyond the military and into the private sector. Another case involves a former NASA engineer who came forward anonymously in 2019. He claimed that NASA had classified footage and images of unidentified objects captured during space missions, which were never released to the public. According to the engineer, he and his colleagues were told in no uncertain terms that if they ever spoke about what they had seen, their careers would be over. The engineer eventually retired and went public under a pseudonym, claiming that the threats were what had kept him silent for so long. Given the history of whistleblowers facing threats and intimidation, it's no wonder that many believe Jerry's silence and the deletion of his tweet are not coincidental. The sequence of events, the rapid rise in visibility of his tweet, followed by the sudden removal of his account and message, bears striking resemblance to other cases where individuals were threatened or silenced after revealing sensitive information about UFOs. In online forums, users speculated that Jerry might have received a warning similar to those faced by previous whistleblowers. Some suggested that government officials or representatives from a covert agency could have contacted him, either coercing him into deleting his tweet or taking control of his account altogether. Others argued that the threats might have come in more indirect forms, such as an email or phone call reminding him of his obligation to protect classified information. The sudden nature of his social media blackout leaves many unanswered questions, but it fits into the broader pattern of how whistleblowers in the UFO community are often suppressed. The repeated stories of whistleblowers being threatened highlight a fundamental fear within government and military institutions: the fear of disclosure. If whistleblowers like Jerry, Bob Lazar, or others reveal information that suggests the government has knowledge of or access to extraterrestrial technology, it could have far-reaching consequences. Such a revelation would not only challenge current scientific understanding, but could also lead to public outcry and demand for accountability. In addition, if it were confirmed that advanced technology exists but is beyond current engineering capabilities, like Jerry suggested in his tweet, it could expose a massive gap between the government's knowledge and its ability to act on that information. This would put immense pressure on those in power to explain why such knowledge has been kept secret for so long, and what efforts, if any, are being made to advance or disclose this technology. In addition to the disturbing reports of intimidation and threats aimed at silencing whistleblowers, several individuals who claim insider knowledge have come forward with intriguing details about the advanced flight methods used by UFOs. These whistleblowers, ranging from former military personnel to aerospace engineers and defense contractors, have described technologies and propulsion systems that challenge conventional understanding of physics and aerospace engineering.